When the Western Roman Empire collapsed, much of Western Europe lost access to the medical foundation, laid by Dioscorides and Galen, a system that had taken centuries to build. But in the East, that knowledge did not disappear. The Islamic world preserved it, expanded it, and refined it for 1,000 years. Ibn Sina, known in the West as Avicenna, wrote the Canon of Medicine, a 1,000,000-word encyclopedia that became the standard medical textbook in European universities for over 5 centuries. When the Ottoman Empire rose to power, it built one of the most organized pharmaceutical systems in the medieval world. From the botanical gardens of Topkapi Palace to the Sultan's private pharmacy. When European diplomats and scientists finally gained access to Ottoman territories, they did not just admire what they found. They took it home. The tulip, coffee, rosewater, saffron were carried back to Europe and rebranded as European discovery. This is educational content, not medical advice. Always consult a qualified healthcare professional before using any herbal remedy. Today we are covering 10 Ottoman botanical innovations that modern research supports with published evidence. Stay until the end, because number 10 is a drink the Ottomans perfected that Europeans initially tried to ban because it was too powerful. If you are new here, welcome to the Green Domain, where ancient wisdom meets modern science. Subscribe if you want more hidden history that modern textbooks leave out. Let us begin. Number 1. Rose, the Sultan's medicine. Rose, Rosa damascena, was the single most important medicinal plant in Ottoman pharmacy. Ibn Sina devoted extensive sections of the Canon of Medicine to the therapeutic properties of rose. He described rosewater's effects on the brain, the heart, and the spirit. Ottoman physicians used rosewater for headaches, digestive problems, eye inflammation, skin conditions, and as a base for compounding other medicines. The palace pharmacy at Topkapi consumed enormous quantities of rosewater daily. It was added to food, to baths, to medicines, and to the air itself, sprinkled on rooms and garments. The Ottomans perfected the art of distillation, developing steam distillation methods that are still used in the fragrance industry today. A review in 2017 published in the journal Avicenna Journal of Phytomedicine found evidence that Rosa damascena has anxiolytic, antidepressant, analgesic, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and antimicrobial properties. Clinical studies have shown benefits for menstrual pain, depression, and anxiety. Ibn Sina praised rosewater's effects on cognitive function over 1,000 years ago. Modern neuroscience is now confirming what he observed. Number 2. Black seed, the seed of blessing. If you watched our Egyptian herbs episode, you already know Nigella sativa, but the Ottomans elevated black seed to a central position in their pharmacopoeia. Ottoman physicians prescribed it for digestive complaints, respiratory infections, headaches, toothaches, and as a general tonic. Prophet Muhammad reportedly said that black seed cures everything except death. That statement made it one of the most widely used medicinal substances across the entire Islamic world for over 1,000 years. A 2024 review in the International Journal of Molecular Sciences found that thymoquinone, the primary active compound, has anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, antimicrobial, anti-cancer, and immunomodulatory effects. A meta-analysis of 82 randomized controlled trials showed benefits for blood pressure, blood sugar, and cholesterol. The Ottomans did not discover black seed, but they made it standard medicine for 600 years across 3 continents. Number 3. Saffron, the red gold. Saffron was one of the most valued substances in the Ottoman palace pharmacy. Ibn Sina described saffron extensively in the Canon of Medicine as an antidepressant, anti-inflammatory, hepatoprotective, and aphrodisiac agent. Ottoman physicians followed his prescriptions precisely. Saffron was added to sherbets. These were not desserts, but liquid medicines, carefully formulated drinks combining herbs, fruits, and spices into therapeutic beverages. Here is where the Ottoman connection matters. When European botanists visited Ottoman lands, they brought saffron cultivation techniques back with them. The saffron trade that later enriched Spain, Italy, and southern France was built on knowledge that had been refined in the Islamic world for centuries. A 2019 review in the Journal of Integrative Medicine found that saffron has significant antidepressant effects, with clinical trials showing efficacy comparable to fluoxetine and imipramine. A spice the Ottomans prescribed for sadness performs as well as modern antidepressants in head-to-head clinical trials. Number 4. Mastic, the tears of Chios. And this is where Ottoman pharmacy connects to something genuinely extraordinary. Mastic from the Pistacia lentiscus tree grows only on the Greek island of Chios. Under Ottoman rule, Chios was so valuable because of its mastic production that the villages that produced it were given special tax exemptions and protections by the Sultan himself. The penalty for stealing a mastic tree was execution. That is how valuable this resin was. Physicians used mastic for stomach problems, oral health, wound healing, and liver complaints. A landmark study published in the New England Journal of Medicine found that mastic gum has bactericidal activity against Helicobacter pylori, the bacterium responsible for most stomach ulcers. That is the most prestigious medical journal in the world, publishing evidence that an Ottoman stomach remedy has real antimicrobial effects. Number 5. Pomegranate, the fruit of paradise. The pomegranate is called the fruit of paradise in Islamic tradition. It is mentioned in the Quran, and it was considered one of the most important medicinal foods in Ottoman medicine. Here is something interesting. This is now the 4th video in our series where pomegranate has appeared. Greek, Egyptian, Biblical, Ottoman, 4 completely independent civilizations, all prizing the same fruit for health. At some point, that stops being coincidence and starts being convergent evidence. Ottoman physicians prescribed pomegranate juice for digestive problems, heart health, and as an anti-parasitic agent. Pomegranate sherbet was served daily in the Ottoman palace. A 2017 review in Advanced Biomedical Research found that pomegranate contains punicalagins and anthocyanins with powerful antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and cardiovascular protective effects. Its antioxidant capacity has tested higher than red wine, green tea, and blueberry juice. Number 6. Sumac, the forgotten spice. Rus coriaria is one of the most underappreciated plants in all of Ottoman medicine, and I would argue it is the most surprising entry on this entire list. It was used as a souring agent in cooking, as a medicine for digestive complaints and for diarrhea, and as an antiseptic for wound treatment. Ottoman households kept sumac alongside salt as a kitchen staple. You probably have it in your spice rack right now and never thought of it as medicine. Modern research has revealed why you should. A 2014 review in the Journal of the Science of Food and Agriculture found that sumac contains high concentrations of tannins, flavonoids, and organic acids, with significant antioxidant, antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory, and blood sugar lowering effects. In fact, sumac has been shown to have one of the highest antioxidant capacities of any spice ever measured, higher than turmeric, higher than cinnamon. A kitchen spice the Ottomans used daily turns out to be an antioxidant powerhouse that modern research is only now discovering. Number 7. Turkish rose oil and lavender, the hammam pharmacy. The Ottoman hammam was not just a bathhouse, it was a medical institution. Ottoman physicians prescribed hammam visits as treatments for respiratory problems, skin conditions, muscle pain, and stress. The essential oils used in the hammam were carefully selected for their medicinal properties. Rose oil, lavender, and eucalyptus were the primary therapeutic agents. As we explored in our Roman herbs video, lavender matched the prescription drug lorazepam for anxiety in a clinical trial in 2012. Rose oil has demonstrated anxiolytic and antidepressant effects in clinical studies. Eucalyptus oil has shown decongestant and antimicrobial properties. The Ottoman hammam was essentially an aromatherapy clinic, combined with hydrotherapy and massage, 1,000 years before any of those became wellness industry buzzwords. We are past the halfway point. The remaining remedies are where the Ottoman Empire's pharmaceutical innovations connect most directly to the modern world. Number 8. Opium poppy, the double-edged sword. This entry requires careful context. The opium poppy, Papaver somniferum, was one of the most important plants in Ottoman medicine. Ottoman surgeons used opium as an anesthetic and analgesic for centuries. The palace pharmacy compounded it into carefully dosed formulations for pain, insomnia, coughs, and diarrhea. Ottoman physicians understood that opium was both medicine and poison, and they controlled dosages precisely. The compound makun-i-misir, a paste developed in the 15th century by the physician Merkez Effendi, combined opium with 41 other herbs and spices to create a balanced therapeutic formulation. This paste is still produced today in Manisa, Turkey, and distributed annually during a festival that has continued for over 500 years. Modern medicine has extracted morphine and codeine from the opium poppy. These remain among the most important analgesic drugs in the world, and are on the World Health Organization list of essential medicines. The Ottomans understood the power and the danger of this plant simultaneously. Modern medicine is still trying to find that balance. Number 9. Tulip, the botanical revolution. This one surprises everyone. The tulip is not originally Dutch, it is Ottoman. The word tulip comes from the Turkish tulbend, meaning turban, describing the shape of the flower. Tulips were cultivated in Ottoman palace gardens for centuries before a Flemish diplomat named Ogier Gizelan de Bousbecq sent tulip bulbs from Constantinople to Vienna in 1554. Within decades, tulips had spread across Europe. By the 1630s, the Netherlands experienced tulip mania, one of the first recorded speculative bubbles in economic history. Single tulip bulbs sold for more than the price of a house. But here is the part most people miss. In Ottoman gardens, tulips were not just ornamental. Certain tulip species were used medicinally. Ottoman physicians used tulip petals in poultices for skin conditions and as ingredients in compound medicines. And the tulip was just the beginning. European botanists who visited Ottoman territories brought back hundreds of plant species, seeds, and cultivation techniques that transformed European gardens, agriculture, and eventually European pharmaceutical botany. The European botanical revolution of the 16th and 17th centuries was built substantially on Ottoman knowledge. Number 10. Coffee, the drink they tried to ban. I told you at the beginning that number 10 was a drink so powerful that Europeans tried to ban it. Here is the full story. Coffee, Coffea arabica, was first cultivated in Yemen and spread throughout the Ottoman Empire in the 15th and 16th centuries. The Ottomans did not just drink coffee, they built an entire culture around it. Ottoman coffee houses, called kahvahan, became centers of social, intellectual, and political life across the empire. Poets gathered there, scholars debated there, political dissidents plotted there. Sultan Murad IV actually banned coffee houses at one point because they had become hotbeds of political opposition. According to the contemporary accounts, punishments ranged from beating to execution for repeat offenders. That ban did not last. Coffee was too deeply embedded in Ottoman life. Physicians prescribed coffee for headaches, fatigue, digestive problems, and as a mental stimulant. According to some historical sources, certain marriage contracts included a clause requiring husbands to provide their wives with coffee. Whether this was universal law or regional custom is debated by scholars, but it tells you how essential coffee had become to daily Ottoman life. When coffee reached Europe in the 17th century, it was met with suspicion and fear. Catholic clergy in Italy petitioned Pope Clement VIII to ban it, calling it the bitter invention of Satan. But the Pope tasted it, enjoyed it, and reportedly said it would be a sin to leave such a delicious drink to the infidels alone. He baptized it instead. Coffee survived, and modern research has validated what Ottoman physicians observed. A 2017 umbrella review published in the British Medical Journal analyzed over 200 meta-analyses of observational studies and found that coffee consumption is associated with reduced risk of cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, several cancers, Parkinson's disease, depression, and Alzheimer's disease. 3 to 4 cups per day was associated with the greatest risk reduction across most conditions. The active compounds, caffeine and chlorogenic acid, have demonstrated neuroprotective, anti-inflammatory, and antioxidant effects. The drink the Ottomans prescribed for vitality, that a sultan tried to ban on pain of death, that Europeans called satanic, is now the most consumed psychoactive substance on Earth. Over 2 billion cups are consumed every single day, and the science says the Ottomans were right. And that completes our journey through 10 botanical innovations from the Ottoman Empire. From Ibn Sina's Canon of Medicine to the Palace Pharmacy at Topkapi, from the Mastic groves of Chios to the coffee houses of Constantinople, the Ottomans built one of the most advanced pharmaceutical systems of their era. And when Europe finally caught up, it did so largely by importing Ottoman knowledge, Ottoman plants, and Ottoman techniques. The tulips in Amsterdam, the coffee in Paris, the saffron in Spain, the rose water in French perfumery, all of it traces back to the Ottoman world. And yet most Western histories of medicine skip directly from Galen to the Renaissance, as if nothing happened in between. 1,000 years of Islamic medical innovation erased from the story. This video is one small attempt to put that chapter back where it belongs. If this changed the way you think about where modern medicine comes from, subscribe to the Green Domain, because next, we are investigating the ancient pain remedies that modern science is now confirming. Drop a comment and tell me which Ottoman remedy surprised you the most. And if you missed our Greek, Egyptian, Ayurvedic, Biblical, Chinese, Indigenous, Roman, power ranking, and backyard garden videos, all the links are in the description. Ancient wisdom, modern proof, real results.